bubarin DPR. Jangan. Memang yang ngomong itu rata-rata orang yang nggak pernah jadi duduk di DPR. Cuma mental bilang bubarin DPR itu memang.
Tunjangan anggota DPR naik melejit di saat ekonomi masyarakat terhimpit, membuat amarah rakyat tak terbendung. Wakil rakyat dinilai tidak peka dengan impitan ekonomi yang dirasakan masyarakat.
So hello everyone, welcome to our talk show today. I'm Kayla Meka Putri as a moderator today, and my friends.
My name is Emmanuel Musad Satya.
So we'll be discussing a much talk about the topic the increase in House of Representatives allowance. Joining me as our guest speaker, Kak Anissa Reskia. So let's get started. Okay, so let's start with the first question. What are the government and House of Representatives consideration for proposing this allowance increase? And how transparent has the process been to the public?
Okay, so the government and DPR, or Dewan Perwakilan Rakyat, the House Representative of Indonesia, say the increase is needed to adjust for inflation and higher cost of living, aiming to sustain the quality of legislative work. And they also agree it helps attract and retain content people in the DPR. Regarding transparency, discussions were mostly internal, and a press release was issued after media coverage. Now, that the citizens can access budget documents on the DPR and Ministry of Finance website. However, detailed deliberation and rationale remain limited. The Open Budget Survey in 2023 gave Indonesia a transparency score of 70 out of 100%, showing information is fairly accessible but could be clear.
So after we talk about the transparency and the consideration, from what Kanis been saying, it's about the transparency is being exist. So from transparency, we must talk about the cost. It's about the impact. So let's move to the second question, Kanis. Second, how will the DPR allowance rise affect the state budget and public spending prioritize given the current economic condition?
Okay, so the increase adds to state expenditure with the 2023 budget deficit at 2.85% of GDP, and the economy still cautious. It could reduce funds for key sectors such as health, education, and infrastructure, which are prioritized in the 2023 RAPBN. That creates a trade-off between higher legislature welfare and limited resources for public service. For instance, social protection and infrastructure allocation are already sizable, so the allowance raise may squeeze fiscal space.
Okay, so next to the third question. So what's the public response to the proposed allowance increase? And what oversight mechanism exists to keep the policy accountable?
Okay, so the reaction of the public is mixed, that so many citizens opposite feelings not suitable while the economy is slow. The others is understand the adjustment need. And on oversight, DPR has internal control, civil society groups monitoring using public information access, and the Supreme Audit Agency or BPK performs audits of DPR budget use. However, the Open Budget Survey notes low public participation score is 26 per 100, suggesting oversight could be stronger and more transparent to the public.
So after we talk about the distributive from the people, we must talk about the outcomes for the people too. Let's move to the fourth question. It's about the ethically, how does this allowance increase align with distributive justice and the principle of shared sacrifice during the economic challenge times?
Okay, so that distributive justice means legislatures higher benefits shouldn't ignore the hardship faced by the public. Shared sacrifice implies that in so economy, any part of DPR must be justified by clear performance gains benefiting society. Ethically, the rise is acceptable only if it translates into better lawmaking and improve more public service, balancing legislator welfare with the social responsibility too.
Okay, so finally, this is the last question for today. What specific measurable performance indicator can ensure the allowance increase leads to the better legislative quality and public service?
Okay, there are so many indicators, but the indicators could be, first of all, is number of bills passed per year, quality of the base measured by depth of public hearing participation, and then public satisfaction index on DPR performance based on data survey, and the last is transparency of budget usage or confirmed by positive BPK audit results. These indicators are specific, qualified, quantifiable, and should be reported public each quarter so citizens can track the progress.
Okay, thank you very much for Kak Ani's explanation, and I hope today's discussion has helped listener understand that the increasing DPR allowance more clearly and examine it from various angles. Issue like this are important to continue monitoring as they affect to the use of the state budget and public trust. I hope our discussion can be source of reflection for everyone, both the public and policymakers. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, everyone.